Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Did Julie Chrisley get hit on in prison? Star reveals all. Julie Chrisley spent 28 months in federal prison after being indicted by a federal grand jury for 12 counts of wire fraud, conspiracy to commit bank fraud, and conspiracy to defraud the United States. Earlier this year, Julie and her husband, Todd Chrisley, were issued presidential pardons from Donald Trump. However, they are now reunited with their family and settling back into day-to-day life. In addition, Julie recently opened up about her experience in prison. Keep reading to find out more. Julie Chrisley spent 28 months of a 7-year sentence behind bars of the FMC in Lexington, Kentucky. She was convicted alongside her husband for tax evasion and fraud. However, she was released from prison in May after receiving a presidential pardon. Julie has been taking time to adjust to life outside of prison. She has reunited with her children and settled in at home. In addition, the reality star has started to share details about her prison experience. Fans have been curious about Julie Chrisley's experience in prison. On a recent episode of the Chrisley Confessions 2.0 podcast, Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kandi Burruss asked Julie about what she went through. Burruss asked Chrisley if anyone ever hit on her. Julie replied, "Hit on me? No, they really didn't." She further revealed that she was considered the mom of the group she was with. In addition, Chrisley shared that it was to her advantage that people knew her as a matriarch from being featured in Chrisley Knows Best. She explained, "I think people, because of the show, they had this idea, she's everybody's mom. She's the mom." She continued that played to my advantage. The girls felt like I was their mom in there. They were on their best behavior. Everybody was sweet to me. Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kandi Burruss questioned Julie Chrisley about her thoughts on being intimate in prison. Kandi pointed out that Julie was originally sentenced to 7 years behind bars. In addition, Burruss asked Julie, "You were supposed to be in there for 7 years originally, right? That's a long time. You were ready to go the whole 7 years with nothing." Julie Chrisley didn't hesitate to answer her friend. She explained, "Absolutely. Never crossed my mind." In addition, Chrisley has been open about her experience in prison. She explained, "You don't have any control," which is very different from how the reality star had previously lived. As a reality star, she often had everything she wanted. In addition to her candid confession, Chrisley shared the advice she received when she first got to prison. She said, "People told me this when I first got there. You can't live out there and in here at the same time, because it'll literally run you crazy, and that's the truth. The longer you're there, the more removed you become to the world." Julie Chrisley expressed that she is happy to be back home with her family. What do you think of her being the prison mom? Let us know in the comments. When Julie Chrisley walked into the fluorescent-lit visitation room of the Federal Medical Center for Women, she knew the question was coming. Cameras weren't rolling, but her voice still carried that familiar Southern warmth, calm, measured, and tinged with a sharp sense of humor that had survived both reality TV and prison walls. "Julie," the interviewer leaned forward, "we've been hearing rumors. Did you get hit on in prison?" Julie chuckled. Not the fake laugh she used to smooth over awkward moments on Chrisley Knows Best, but a deep, knowing laugh. The kind that suggested she'd seen more in the last year than some people see in a lifetime. "Sweetheart," she said, folding her hands neatly on the table, "you'd be surprised what counts as flirting in here. Life in close quarters." For most of her life, Julie's days had been scented with vanilla candles and stocked with perfectly organized pantry shelves. Now she shared a space where privacy was more rumor than reality. The prison, with its constant noise of slamming doors and murmured conversations, was a different world, a place where gossip spread faster than mascara in a rainstorm. And yes, sometimes that gossip was about her. Julie explained that when she first arrived, she expected cold shoulders, not curious smiles. "I figured people might resent me for being on TV," she said. But the truth? A lot of them had watched the show. They'd say things like, "Girl, I know your kitchen. That island was gorgeous." And from there, you realize people are people, no matter where you meet them. Flirting, prison style. Flirting in prison wasn't candlelit dinners or late-night text messages. It was a sideways glance in the chow line, a safe spot at the communal table, or someone offering an extra packet of peanut butter from commissary. One woman gave me an orange juice once, Julie recalled. Not from the cafeteria, one she'd saved. In here, that's like someone sending you a bouquet of roses. The attention came from all corners. Some of it was playful, some sincere, and some, well, a little too forward. There was one lady, Julie said, lowering her voice, who used to sit next to me during movie night. She'd lean in close and say, "You know, Julie, if your husband's busy, I can keep you company." I just laugh and tell her, "Honey, I've been married longer than you've been dyeing your hair blonde." Holding her ground, Julie made it clear that while she could appreciate the humor, she kept strong boundaries. "I'm a married woman, and Todd might be in a different facility, but that doesn't change anything for me," she said. "I love my husband, and that's that. But I'm also a Southern woman. I can deflect with charm." That charm kept her safe. In prison, alliances mattered. Turning down attention without offending someone was a delicate dance. Julie became adept at responding with humor, never harshness, unless a line was truly crossed. Letters from Todd. Todd, ever the showman even behind bars, seemed equal parts amused and protective when Julie shared these stories in their weekly letters. He wrote back once, "Well, at least now I know you're still a hot commodity, darling." Julie grinned. Leave it to Todd to make prison flirting sound like a compliment. Still, Todd had his moments of jealousy. In one monitored phone call, he joked, "You tell Miss Orange Juice that I'm still the only man who makes you breakfast in bed." Julie laughed so hard she nearly got written up for holding the phone past her allotted time. The real challenge. Flirting might make for a funny story, but Julie admitted that the reality of prison life wasn't glamorous. The days were long, the food was uninspired, and the constant proximity to strangers could wear anyone down. "There's no closing the door at the end of the day," she said. "Even when you're polite, even when you've made friends, you can't escape the fact that you're not home." For Julie, keeping her dignity intact was as much about self-respect as it was about loyalty to Todd. She built a small circle of women she trusted, some who had no interest in her fame, and others who confided in her like an older sister. Small victories. Julie found that little victories helped her survive the hard days, winning a hand of cards, baking a makeshift dessert from commissary items, or getting a spot in the shade during outdoor time. Sometimes those small victories came in the form of good-natured banter. "There was a guard," she said with a mischievous smile, "who'd call me Hollywood. I'd call him security. We both knew it was just a little joke to make the day go faster."